Okay, then, the February 20th, 2026 meeting of the Lathrup Village Downtown Development Authority is called to order. Let's have a roll call, please.
Sure. Bruce Cantor.
Here.
Pam Schermeyer.
Here.
Tracy Williams.
Here.
Alex Green.
Here.
Mike Green.
Here.
Patricia Felton. We have quorum.
Does everybody have their microphone on?
So did Patricia let us know she wasn't going to be here or no?
I did not hear from Patricia. Charlotte, her term ended on the 1st, and she'll be reappointed at Monday's city council meeting. So I gave her the option to either attend or sit this one out. She's been very flexible working with her work, and she decided that she would just...
Yeah, so she's not technically on, so there's no reason to
Exactly, yeah.
do a motion to excuse her. Okay.
Just so you're aware.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Not the minutes, I didn't.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes.
I can see the minutes are not there.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Can we get support for that?
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And moving on to the consent agenda, which is our monthly financial reports and the code enforcement report. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, public comment. Anyone would like to make a comment, please come to the podium. All right, hearing none, we'll move on to old business. Austin.
Yes, I'm going to welcome Lauren of LVMF Planning Committee up to the lectern to give an update on the past month's efforts in planning this year's Lathrup Village Music Festival.
Hi, thank you, Lauren Barris from the LVMF. So last month we had an estimated $24,000 in sponsorships. Right now we're at about 27,000, and we have several big opportunities that I have to yet confirm, but that is at this meeting. We just confirmed B&B Collision as a sponsor this morning. Not only have they been my personal repair shop of choice for the last 30 years, but they also do Lathrup Village police cars. And I found that out, and they wanted to be a sponsor. I spoke with Simon from Holbrook this morning, and he's definitely in as a sponsor too, and he will confirm that check in March. Mark Watts has given us a great contact also at a local car dealership, and that will hopefully develop by our next meeting. We have a couple of music contracts we'll talk about later, but I wanted to talk about the artists. First is Big Tent featuring Wayne Gerard. We are the proud hometown of Wayne Gerard Milton, and he's presently touring with Don Was and is obviously an amazing talent. We had Wayne at our first LVMF, and we're lucky that his tour schedule is such that he can perform for the LVMF, and we're eager to have him. 45-minute set, $1,500 for the hometown price. Deposit would be $750 with a balance of $750 at the festival. It'll be a 4 or 5 piece band. We haven't confirmed that yet. Brendon Linsley is a young blues singer who reminds me of Johnny Lang, if you're familiar. The Queen of Blues Sornetta herself suggested him to me, and that was enough for me, and apparently that was enough for Brendon too, because he's looking forward to performing for us. A 45-minute set is $1,200, deposit $600, balance $600 at the festival. We're looking for approval on that today. So overview, Saturday would be 8 bands, 12 to 10. Sunday would be 7 bands, 12 to 8. There are 4 bands returning from last year or past year's performances, and 4 new bands coming to us. We always want to give that opportunity for new talent. Also, we've added an event called Halfway to the Music. We did that last year as a fundraiser, but because we didn't really have a 501c3, which is an issue, we couldn't really have a fundraiser. We didn't raise much money, but we raised awareness. So this year, instead of having several acts, we have one act, Billy Brandt and Elaine Schoendorf, and they will be performing from 7 to 9. All of our volunteers are front and center at this event, hopefully all wearing their t-shirts and advertising for the festival. Plus, we've invited the community to join LVMF fans and Billy Brandt fans to come to Halfway Night, which is at Dog and Pony Show Brewing in Oak Park. It's been cold, and we all deserve that trip out anyway, and it's a good halfway, 6 months from our event. Kind of a fun thing we look forward to. And Dog and Pony's been a great partner and sponsor since the beginning. Kyle and Aaron and their crew are amazing people and really great to work with, so this is fun for all of us. The Family Fun Zone update, Parks and Rec met, and they've decided to take over this area, and I'll be meeting with them soon to discuss budget, vision, and protocols. I spoke with the Southfield Library this morning, and they will have a booth at the festival in the Family Fun Zone to give out library cards and to do crafts with the kids and talk about the benefits of library membership. Kelly Rembert will be actively promoting us throughout the library and throughout their other events, and she's a great contact to have, and I'm looking forward to an ongoing relationship with her through the LVMF. Also, I wanted to mention the Lathrup Village Chamber of Commerce has been very helpful. I'm working with Mark Watts on the Live in Lathrup Village podcast. We're featuring city officials, businesses, and residents, and this partnership has afforded me the opportunity to interview businesses in the district, sponsors, volunteers, and performers, and market the LVMF. So this has been a wonderful partnership too, as well as offering that exposure to the businesses in the district, which is important to all of us. I also talked, like I said, to Kelly Rembert from the Southfield Library about doing an interview. So there's a lot of cross-promoting going on through the LVCC, the LVDDA, and the LVMF. I love all these LV acronyms. And as a past business owner, I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be part of that. 501c3 update. We've been doing a lot of research. Tom and Austin did a lot of work on this, and we've been trying to decide how that best works for us, for the LVMF. To be alone on a 501c3, which is a lot of reporting and a lot of obligation, or could we somehow ride on someone else's 501c3? Shawana Watts is the chair of the Community Foundation, and they do have a 501c3, and they have met with their board, and they have voted yes to allow us onto their 501c3, and I found that out 5 minutes before it came here today.
Oh, really?
So I was really excited
Awesome. That's
as I walked in. And in the midst of planning this year, I'm also taking all of my planning, my notes, my thoughts, and my experience, and I'm putting it in a 3-ring binder. I think this is an important event for the city, and I want to have a how-to manual for the person that might take over for me when I age out, because there will be a time. So in that vein, we have established a mission statement for the festival, and I just wanted to share that with you too, because this is really the whole point. Our mission statement: each fall, the Lathrup Village Music Festival brings our diverse community together through the universal language of music. This fully sponsored, free, family-friendly celebration fills our village with live music, local vendors, food, and fun for all ages. It's where camaraderie grows, neighbors become friends, and lasting memories are made. That's it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Lauren, just one thing. Did you, if you said the date, it just went over my head. What is the date of your halfway event?
It's March 13th. I may not have said that.
Okay.
It's, the festival is the 12th, and this is 6 months before the festival.
Okay.
March 13th, Friday, March 13th, at Dog and Pony Show Brewing in Oak Park. It's free to get in. If you want craft beer, you pay for that. And there's always a food truck, and we are supplying the talent. So
Very
they'll be
good.
there for 2 hours.
Oh, sounds
And
like
this
good
is a
time.
band that's not playing at LVMF because our ticket's full, I think. You know, I think we're all full.
Yeah.
And, but it's someone who's very interested, and we get an opportunity to experience them, and they get a part of us. They really want to be part of it.
Right. One other thing, are there any complications to joining somebody else's 501c3?
This is my first experience with this, and you know, if the DDA had a 501c3, we could be friends of. Maybe Austin, you could talk on that more.
So we looked into starting our own 501c3 for the DDA, or for to work for different grants and different initiatives for both the LVMF, for the Juneteenth event, for different events that go on throughout the year that we could partner with. And then also, it would allow us to apply for grants when it comes to different infrastructure
That's a whole idea.
improvements. But talking with attorneys, they kept telling us the costs that would come with it, and at least 2 attorneys told us you should try to partner with an existing 501c3 because all of the activities would still have to be audited and all taxes would have to be done in a similar manner. So it would all still, if it was a similar 501c3 with a similar mission, then it would be a ideal partnership. And the first one that came to our mind was a Lathrup Village Foundation, and then we looked into it and talked with. It came to our knowledge that Shawana Watts was the new chair of it, and she was moving towards it, and she was open to the idea. But it was only now that I learned that
5 minutes ago,
that they are gonna. Welcome is on in, and it just gives us opportunities because there's a Levitt Foundation that gives out grants to local 501c3s for music, for helping music thrive and remain in communities. But we didn't have any opportunity to apply for it because as a municipality, we didn't qualify. So this would allow us to apply and qualify for grants that we wouldn't otherwise have any opportunity to apply for.
Very good.
Yeah. But
Any
if
other-
it is obviously something does come up where there is a conflict, we would definitely bring it to your attention and also be mindful of that.
Tracy?
Yeah, I wanted to provide a little insight, and Oakland Thrive had discussed this briefly with the DDA, and that Oakland Thrive understood that they were looking for possibly having a 501c3 designation. And that was something that could be achieved less expensively, much less, working with Oakland Thrive and getting their consulting services with the so the DDA could get that designation. However, it is having a nonprofit status requires a lot. A lot. And so I do think it's probably, at least for right now, writing with an already existing organization, possibly maybe looking into it in the future, but right now it's probably not a bad idea.
Great.
Especially if
Yeah.
they're willing and there's no stipulations on you guys, like sharing the proceeds or anything like that.
No, there's nothing like that. I mean, any reporting, we're doing it anyway. We're audited the city is audited every year. So we make sure that our books are, and we're ready to share that with them if they need that. And it just opens more opportunities to us. And
And we think of it
And
as
their
an
existing
opportunity to share our, the resources and contacts we've created over the number of years now with the music festival with them, and them to share their resources and connections with us, where we may have a issue with the family zone that we need to get resolved, and they go, oh, we know so-and-so, you can reach out to them, and if some event of theirs down the road needs some help with vendors, we could always share our network of vendors.
Right,
So it's a
and
way
we're
to just,
building.
yeah, and it's just a way to share and help build and grow together.
Any other questions for Lauren? Okay, thank you.
thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, new business, the Southfield Road hanging baskets.
Yes, so we are at that time of the year where we prepare for our order of flowers that will go in the hanging flower pots along Southfield Road. Talking with Pam, we looked at the species we would liked and preferred. We looked at potential vendors, and we also looked at the vendor that we used last year. We, as DDA staff, reached out to 5 local nurseries requesting quotes by February 16th. We provided additional follow-up week trying to get quotes because they were not 2 weeks because they were not very responsive, and that resulted in us only obtaining, out of the 5, we got 1 from the vendor last year and 1 from English Gardens. And as you'll see, the vendor quote from the vendor last year, this is for the flowers to fill 33 hanging flower pots, new soil, and also for fertilizer, which they all got, the flowers got rave reviews last year because he starts the roots now. He's just starting the roots now. and he comes, picks up the flower pots, and fills them and delivers them back to us. And our DPW crew puts them up. He's been great to work with last year, and also they got great feedback from the public. We got a lot of compliments. They were so well received. 5 of them got stolen. So
I knew he was gonna say it.
yeah. So we reached out. 3 vendors who we followed up multiple times did not provide a response. English Garden provided a response that is well outside of our budget, and the cost from Joe Cucci and Sons, which did the flowers last year, is $1,895 for 33 hanging flower pots. For the flowers from English Gardens would cost, this is just for the flowers alone, is $26,416.
All right, let me jump in there. I mean, yes, English Gardens is a retailer and they are expensive, but this is clearly a math error. My suspicion is, after doing the math and figuring out that it
You
would
think
be
the comma's off by one?
and they would be charging us $98 per 4-inch pot.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they meant was $9.80 per 4-inch pot, which would make it a more reasonable $2,641 rather than $26,000.
Yeah, well, I was thinking maybe they thought they had to provide the containers too.
I mean, that could be, and the
Or they don't want the
soil.
business.
Yeah, either way, they're not getting it.
And this also doesn't include soil or fertilizer. And we get that with Joe. And then also he comes, picks up the flower pots. He does all of the planning. We wouldn't have to get a weekend of volunteers to fill them up and then move them from the DPW yard over to here. It's just simply, they get dropped off, get picked up at the DPW yard, dropped off here, and then DPW comes and puts them up.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing 40 instead of 33.
We were gonna.
We did tell him it was
We
33.
requested a quote for 40, but we believe we're gonna only ask for 33.
Okay. All right, so I guess we're ready for a motion to approve the hanging basket quote from Joe Cucci.
I'll make a motion to approve the hanging basket proposal from Joseph Cucci and Sons, not to exceed $1,895.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, moving on. We're back to the Lathrup Village Music Festival.
And I'm going to ask Lauren to come back up just so that if there's any questions regarding the contract, she's available to help provide any information you need. So we are, this is the second round. Last month we came and asked for approval for a number of contracts. One included our headliner, Thornetta Davis. This is for a band that, as Lauren said, Wayne Gerard put together. They will be performing at the 4th Annual Lathrup Village Music Festival, scheduled for September 12th. The LVMF has become a signature downtown community building event, drawing residents and visitors while supporting local businesses and reinforcing DDA's mission to promote economic vitality and placemaking. The contract will be for $1,500 for their performance with a deposit of $750. As Lauren identified earlier, the DDA has budgeted $10,000 towards the cost of producing the music festival, as well as having over $8,000 in funds left over from last year due to being under budget. And Lauren, what's the exact dollar amount we're at right now on sponsors?
Exact, that we have in-house or promised? In-house?
Both.
Okay, in-house is 21,000 and promise is just under 27.
Okay.
Well,
So-
actually, amounts. I have others, but not their amounts yet.
Okay.
Okay.
So all the costs for the music festival, including this contract, will be through sponsors. And we are asking you today to approve the contract and approve authorization to issue the deposit of $750 to Wayne Gerard.
Someone like to make that motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay. And where are we?
We're under the second contract with Brendon Linsley.
Okay.
He came as a recommendation from Thornetta Davis, our headliner, and we took a look at his online presence, and he's a phenomenal artist. He really is up and coming. He's someone we're lucky to have at this point in his career. Thornetta and and the internet at large thinks he's going to be somebody big and keep growing. So we definitely want to have this type of artist here at the music festival. So we're asking for authorization to execute a $1,200 performance contract with Brendon and Linsley and authorize payment of the $600 deposit to secure the date for their band's performance at the music festival.
Okay, any discussion? If not, can I get a motion to that effect?
I move to approve the performance agreement for the Brendon Linsley in the amount of $1,200, including authorization to issue a $600 deposit for their performance at the 4th Annual Lathrup Village Music Festival on September 12, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So a number of months ago, we came to you following a study session where the Parks and Recreation Committee asked for additional help when it came to having an on-staff member dedicate a number of hours during the week to different programs and assistance for the committee to see projects come through to fruition. So we took a look at the DDA budget, and we think that providing additional hours for Parks and Rec, in addition with providing additional hours to the DDA project coordinator in anticipation as we begin the kickoff of our 10-month cohort program with Recast City, where we will be working to help bring in makerspaces and different projects to revitalize our downtown district. We think that these funds would be well spent for both helping a need in the city, which is park and recreation, which helps provide a robust and a well-rounded community, as well as having a strong business district. This also lines up with trying to attract families to come to our community, and also to be those who are visiting our businesses in our district and using the services and products provided in it. And with the Recast City cohort program, it's going to be a 10-month process, and it's going to be a great opportunity to bring a vision to our downtown district, while also setting up the zoning and policy framework to allow for these new use types. So having Tom available for those hours will help fulfill that project. So it's kind of a win-win for the city's need of having an on-staff member for Parks and Rec, as well as having Tom for additional DDA time to help with the Recast Leader Program objectives. That we are also lucky to have our own Tracy Williams as part of our cohort in Oakland Thrive. So we took a look at the budget, and this is no additional spending, it's just reallocation of funds existing in the budget that we did the mid-year budgets last month. It would be moving $1,100 from capital improvements line item, $1,000 from training and mentorship line item, for a total reallocation of $2,100 to part-time seasonal crew personnel line item. This would allow Tom to be on staff for 4.5 more hours, as well as fulfilling needs in-house in the community.
Well, I can speak to the recreation piece of that. So I think it was 3 or 4 months ago, we brought this up. And the conversation kind of went off in a weird tangent on process improvements. And at that meeting, I was there at the first half of the meeting as the alternate, and then Kelly showed up. So it was a weird dynamic. I didn't really feel like I could talk at that meeting at that point. But it kind of went off on a process improvement dynamic. And the issue really isn't one of process improvements. The issue is that there's a lot of things that the Recreation Committee does that they have the inefficient step of they can't do the processes themselves. They have to talk to somebody on staff, and then there's back and forth that way, and a lot of times then there's back and forth with a third party. So for example, taking money, doing the Zephy transactions, which is what we use to pay for online for some of these things. Scheduling is really difficult because they don't have access to the calendar. So they've got to talk to, Austin, is this date open? They go back to the person, no, I can't do it. Oh, now they got to go back to Austin. So there's an intermediary that makes things really inefficient. Same thing with issuing and negotiating contracts. I know they've been trying to get a Zumba program going, and I know that's been really difficult to go back and forth. And then just some of the PR stuff for the events. And so personally, I think it makes sense to try to have somebody on staff that could be essentially part of the committee, especially given that most of the events that we do as recreation are in the DDA, Winterfest, trivia,
Family Day.
puzzles. What's that?
Family Day?
Family Day, and then the recreation, Parks and Recreation group is also, as Lauren mentioned a little bit earlier, is going to be doing the Family Zone, which is in the DDA during the music festival. We do Food Truck Fridays, which is something that the DDA used to coordinate. The Inside Out program
Yep.
is something that the DDA used to coordinate a few years ago when we had it. Now it's under Parks and Rec. So we're doing a lot of things that the DDA used to do. So it really felt like it made sense to get some hours from somebody on the city who could help take the stress off of the committee members who are doing all the work for these events so that they can focus on the events themselves and not really have to have like inefficient processes standing in their way. So.
Yeah, they've also, they're taking on the community garden and the
Right,
children's garden.
Yeah, I
too,
had that in my
which
notes
is-
too, which is something that we used to do, we used to
Yeah.
help out with, so.
Which could really use a lot of volunteer support, if they can organize and drum that up.
I want to emphasize Bruce's point that there is a lot of inefficiency when there is that communication from the committee to staff to a third party back and forth. It's a real back and forth, and in this week trying to get a business owner to sign an agreement for the in and out art program through the DIA, it was Mike and I kept going back and forth, and I'm going back and forth with the individual, and it was just not the best use of time. And there's other things that our attention could be used towards. And also, we are to help with both the DDA budget and the city's budget. We've been doing, I've been doing zoning in-house, so I've been doing our site plan reviews instead of having our planning consultant do it. So
I was gonna ask you about that after the planning commission.
Yeah.
So did you actually, you did that?
I did that, and then the
Excellent.
ZBA
And then they
report.
review it? Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, and so this would allow me to focus on those reports, and Tom could focus on other items. So it really is a win-win across both for the budget as well as workflow.
Yeah, the other issue too is the members of the committee are all working,
Yes.
and they're working somewhere else, whereas Tom and you are here. So it adds another kind of inefficiency to them trying to do certain things that have to be done during the day, and
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, the communication, if you don't get it done today, then you gotta wait till the next business day. It's
Right.
just-
All right, any further discussion? If not, I guess we'll need a motion to approve the February budget amendment. All right.
So is it up to 5? Is it up to 5 hours?
It's up
or
to
is it
4.5.
4.5. Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendment that allows an addition up to 4.5 hours a week of Tom's time to work with Parks and Recreation and recast
Cities.
cities. Yeah.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on, DDA Director Report.
Yes. So part of the Tri-City Partnership between the City of Southfield, Oak Park, and Lathrup Village, where we all receive funding from Main Street, Oakland County to do workshops with our communities on an annual basis. So rather than the three of us all doing different trainings towards our community, our business communities, we pool our funds together and do a more big and robust training opportunity. And there is a training opportunity coming up on February 24th. It's a Tuesday from 10 to 11:30 at the Southfield Public Library Auditorium. It's called Magic of Customer Service. He's supposed to be very well renowned. His name's Anthony Grappito. He does customer service workshops, but he does it all by blending magic, humor, and practical insight to reimagine how business approach customer service. So anybody who's interested, please reach out. There is still time to register. The event's coming up, but if anybody would like to attend, we can get you on the list. We also have a interesting workshop convention coming up that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. It's called the International Placemaking Week. This is only their 5th time doing this, and it's held internationally. But part of any DDA is placemaking in creating an environment people want to remain in and be in and visit. This will be during the week of June 24th and 26th. It is in Detroit. The venue has not been announced yet, but there are also going to be opportunities for off-site events. So if this is something you think you'd be interested in, I would highly recommend, because this is both urban planning and Main Street come together. We had the grand opening of Holy Burger last month, which was a great success. Jim was there to record a video and an interview with the business owner. It was edited, and it's got a good reception online. And if you haven't checked out Holy Burger, please head on over there and take a look. Business and property update. So there is a proposed cafe at 28919 Southfield Road. It's called Dairy Fairies. This will be their second location. They have one located on Joseph Campo in Hamtramck. They received site plan approval for the change of use during Planning Commission's meeting on Tuesday, February 17th. It was contingent of them receiving a variance for the parking at the Zoning Board of Appeals at this upcoming Monday's City Council meeting, which is February 23rd. The property itself has no on-site parking. There are no opportunities to add. So, and there are 45 parking spaces surrounding the plaza. The uses currently occupying the plaza require 57 spaces. So we're going to be going to City Council, who acts as our Zoning Board of Appeals, to request that the parking standard be waived so this business can open. Otherwise, it really puts the property owner in a difficult spot, because they can't use 2 of their units. So they're being asked to pay city taxes on property they can't even utilize because of the current parking standards in the district. So hopefully we can get approval and get them opened up, because this is going to be a cafe for primarily coffee, tea, and pastries, which we don't really have anything like that in the city or in the surrounding area. 27700 Southfield Road, the school building to the north of us. The applicant is awaiting a decision from the Michigan State Housing Development Authority regarding their financing for the project. They feel like it's promising and should be wrapped up by the end of the second quarter of this year. They requested formal extension of their site plan approval they received on April 15th, 2025. So the zoning ordinance requires that a project that receives site plan approval begins and is completed within 12 months of beginning. So that 12 months is coming up. So they requested site plan approval extension at Planning Commission on Tuesday. They received it, and Planning Commission recommends now to council to approve a 12-month extension. So it will be presented during the Zoning Board of Appeals session of the City Council meeting on Monday. So we'll know more at that point. For infrastructure, the FY 26-31 Capital Improvement Plan was presented to Planning Commission on February 17th. They will vote formally on recommending it to council during the March meeting. The Capital Improvement Plan is required by state law to be for a 6-year process and updated annually. There are 2 projects we put in as the DDA into the Capital Improvement Plan. One are for new monument welcome signs at the north and south gateways of the city, as well as wayfinding signage for the public parking spot in the northwest quadrant of the DDA district. Currently, that lot is very rarely used. People don't know that it's open to the public. So we would just like some signage that directs people to that lot.
Wait, I'm not sure I know where it is.
It's
Yeah.
the lot between Papa's Pizza and
Kebab
the Kebab
Yep.
Kebab.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that people believe it's a
Who?
privately owned lot, but it's owned by the city. Yeah.
Yeah. Could we include in that in the SIP? I think we talked about this at the last meeting, like 6 or 7 years ago. Council had directed the city administrator to put City of Lathrup Village on the.
Oh, that wasn't, that was included. I didn't include it on the list here,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was
Yep.
included, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we reached out for quotes and it would put block letters on the front of the building saying City Hall, because people pass by and don't know where our City
Right.
Hall is. And interesting enough, the EV charger out back, it says we're the Lathrop Village Community Center. So even there, we're identified incorrectly. So actually, we got the beautiful monument sign out front, but just like post offices, when you see those block letters, you know what type of building you're at.
Yeah, I
So
remember with the Inside Out program we had 3 or 4 years ago, the DIA representative came through and says, "I thought this was Southfield."
oh,
Right? So it's having City of Lathrop Village up there would be great.
no, I think it's a fantastic idea. And as I alluded to before, we have been selected as one of 6 Southeast Michigan communities to participate in Recast Leaders Program. Administered by Recast City, it partnerships with the Michigan Municipal League and the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation. It was a competitive process, but it has no costs for the technical assistance over the 10-month period to support actual economic development strategies focused on revitalizing our Main Street corridor, activating vacant storefronts, and supporting small-scale makerspaces and local entrepreneurs. We have our kickoff meeting with the program director and participating communities this upcoming Tuesday from February 24th, and we will keep you updated on this progress, and we are very excited and looking forward to being a part of this program. Tom, I'll let you take over on the MEDC redevelopment team site visit.
So last month, we received approval from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation for our redevelopment ready certifications, which means that we are now formally recertified with them, the 89th community in the state of Michigan to do so. And as part of their celebration of this fact, they will be in on Monday to do a tour of the city. They want to visit some sites for development or redevelopment in the city's areas of focus. And then they want to come to our city council meeting, introduce the program to the city council and the city, and also explain what they're going to provide for our community. It's going to be a big to-do about it, but they will be around, what they say, around 4 on
2:30 to 4:30.
2:30 to 4:30 for the tour. If anyone wants to come with us for this tour, you're more than welcome to. This is both for city council and you guys as well. And yeah, we're almost there. We're excited,
Yeah.
but it's yeah.
And we're gonna take them around and tour them the site next door, the school site, show them the site plan, show them the DDA triangular parcel that we've been looking to develop, and we're gonna talk with them about how a urban nursery is a makerspace and how it could be a good fit. And then also we're gonna take them to 12 Mile and show them the office district and our vision of making it a mixed-use area of the city, as well as the undeveloped commercial lot on Southfield Road, just north of Lincoln. So if you are available from 2:30 to 4:30, please meet us at 2:30 in the lobby or join us as we're on our way. I think it's gonna be a fun, exciting day. And also get a fun evening for them to be at City Council.
Does MEDC and Recast City, do they work together? I mean, it sounds like they offer some similar.
So
Skills.
there's some big differences. Recast Leaders was through Michigan Municipal League, whereas Michigan Economic Development Corporation is a wing of the state of Michigan, and they provide financing services, some funding services, small business growth opportunities, grants, and they also will promote new businesses as well as vacancies. So any vacancies, whether it be a property already developed or a undeveloped lot, they will provide that to their developers who specialize in small business development.
And they'll also put together a a introductory package to each site, and it'll be on their website. So anybody looking to invest in the state of Michigan can go and look for properties that are available across the state, and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation points them to RRC certified communities. So we're excited to promote our city as well as promote potential development opportunities and investment opportunities here in Lathrup
Yeah.
Village.
Yeah, I'm much more familiar with MEDC than I am with Recast City. So.
That's a new one, yeah. So
That's a new one.
it was founded by Alana Prus. She was the chief of staff of the Environmental Protection Agency's Smart Growth Program for 7 years in the Obama administration. After her time ended there, she started a consulting firm, and it became this program where she pulls 5 to 6 communities from across the country to create cohorts to work together. But the Michigan Municipal League, in connection with the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, went to her and her firm and said, if you come to Southeast Michigan and pick only communities from Southeast Michigan, we'll pay for it all. And they said, sure. And so Main Street, Oakland County pointed us in the direction, and we submitted a application package, and then we did an interview, and we were lucky enough to be selected. So it's about $20,000 of consulting fees at no cost to the city.
Excellent.
I also want to just let everybody know that Chase Bank here on 11 Mile in Southfield, in coordination with the DDA and the Lathrup Village Police Department, is holding a educational workshop on April 29th at 10 a.m. in the community room. The session is designed to help residents and business owners identify scams, recognize warning signs, and better protect their personal and financial information. So if anybody you believe would receive any type of benefit from this program in this workshop, please let us know, and we would like to have them register for it, and we're also going to promote it. We just finalized on this a couple days ago, so we're going to get a flyer put up on social media and really let people know, because going through the recent ordinance change of cryptocurrency ATMs and working with Chief Zhang on that project, we found out that fraud is very prevalent, especially in seniors are very targeted. I recall my grandmother in her later years was targeted, and the fraudsters have only gotten more advanced. So there's been a number of residents who've unfortunately been taken advantage of financially recently. So we just want to make sure, and Chase Bank's nice enough to come on out and give this training at no cost. So we just want to make sure that people know about it and are aware of it. So please spread the word. On that note, we kicked off in October the updating of our master plan. There on the city website, there is a link that it will take you to a dedicated site for the master plan. There are surveys. Some of them are up. Some will be brought up as we get to those topics. We did housing this month. Next month is transportation, and then it is economic development, and then parks and rec. So please fill out those surveys. That is, and let people know about it. We have business cards we've been giving out to people to give to residents, so I can provide those to you. So if you run into a resident or a business owner and think they need to know about it, you can give it to them. Any input is valuable, and more input we get, the better the rewrite of our master plan will be. And also, we presented to Planning Commission on Tuesday about changes to our signage, and there's been also from former board members, current board members, and city council members talking about more conformity. So we were throwing around an idea, and we just wanted to get your feedback, is to kind of compromise on providing people with additional signage, providing more conformity amongst the signs, as well as differentiating ourselves from the city of Southfield. We were just throwing out the idea of proposing to allow businesses to have a projecting sign. Those are the signs they're circular or rectangular, and they stick straight out. They're also known as blade signs. But having it where they could only use very specific colors like black, white, and red, or just black and white, and have them be of a high standard, it would allow businesses to have additional signage without putting monument signs in the right-of-way, as well as, or in the middle of parking lots, as well as letting people know that they're in Lathrup Village. We want to have banners put up on the roadways so people know when they're in the community. But when people come through and see that, oh, it's that community with those little projecting signs that all look the same, it would kind of identify us separate from Southfield. It would be one marker, a way so people to see that they're in Lathrup Village, while also giving business owners the opportunity to promote themselves and give their businesses more opportunity to be seen, especially along Southfield Road when cars are traveling at 45 miles an hour.
I think I'd need to see a picture
Yeah, this is
to
a really
understand it.
fleshed out idea, but we ran it
Yeah.
by planning commission about potential signage changes to our signage ordinance. So I wanted also to ask you all to take a look at the signs ordinance, because this is the DDA board and representing that district, and you may have a different insight, especially Alex as a property owner, may have a different insight into how to best utilize the signage that we currently have, or ways that we could amend our signage ordinance to provide business owners with more options and more flexibility in ways to promote themselves. So I'd like to put a rendering together and show you all, but this has been something that's been brought to our attention about either having more conformity in the sign ordinance or provide more signage. This will kind of be both of them, allowing more signage area as well as having conformity.
And we literally just came out with the projecting
but we
signs
just
this
wanted
morning.
to
Yeah.
throw it out there to you all to just see what your idea of it is, where it would be
Yeah.
a very small sign that projects out from the building. So instead of turning and having to look, you see them as you go down Southfield Road, and having them all have some type of conformity with color and size would maybe be able to differentiate and distinguish our business district from the Southfield business corridors around us.
Yeah, definitely a start, something to
Yeah.
consider. The one issue I'd bring up is to look back historically, because we did have some conformity guidelines in our sign ordinance. I believe there were, maybe you know this, it was well before you were here, but maybe you know some of the historical background. I think there were two colors that were allowed, and I think there was I think what ended up happening, if I remember correctly, is that companies that had multiple locations and already had their own branding would come in and they said, well, we don't want
To follow.
your, I think it was like red or blue, red and blue or something like that. Our colors are orange and black, and this is our corporate logo. And so then I think variances started getting approved, and then I think we just dropped that from the sign ordinance. I don't
Okay.
think it's still in the sign ordinance color, is it?
No, not that I'm aware of. And,
Yeah.
and the reason we talked about this conformity, because I know Councilmember Jennings brought
Right,
this up.
right.
Well,
I mean, it's a great idea.
yeah, it's one of those mindsets where, like, if you drive through Bloomfield Hills, that's the biggest thing of it, where you drive through every single sign for every single business, it's black and gold, because that's their colors. But it's a standard that you could potentially implement, but yeah, you're trying to find that wiggle room of, hey, conformity, have a vision for the district versus being able to cater to some businesses and their needs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally
Yeah, and-
not against conformity, but in that regard, but there are some issues to
And-
consider as planning commission.
And
talks
this would
about it.
be additional signs, so they would still have their principal wall signs or the monument sign where they could do whatever they'd like. But this is a sign where you could almost do like a grayscale silhouette of your logo.
Okay, just a couple of questions.
No, go for it.
So, first of all, why those three colors?
They used to be the city's, there was the color scheme, and we thought that it might be good to continue with that. But it could be just black and white, or it could be other colors.
Okay. And then, of course, like in a shopping center, let's just say, would every business have a projecting sign, be allowed to have a projecting sign? Like, let's say there are multiple doors, like the ones that have angled parking.
Yes.
So every business would have a
Yeah,
projecting.
so if you were walking down, you could see all the different businesses without having to step out and look back at the principal wall sign.
And I think that's something that naturally, this is very early stages.
Yeah,
That's something
right.
the planning commission would have to work on and potentially limit, because some of these strips have 20-some businesses in them. We don't want necessarily, maybe we don't want 20 different signs hanging off the building, or maybe we do. But that's a discussion for the planning commission in the future.
But with you being the DDA board, we just wanted your feedback, because you work on behalf of the business owners and the property owners, and see what your input is. Or maybe this is something that, we look into, but it's just not feasible, or something we just don't even want to go down that road.
Well, I guess I would want us to actually have official colors, if you're gonna mandate official colors. And then usually, I don't know, I guess I didn't even notice, I live in Bloomfield Township and did not notice that Bloomfield Hills, you see how well that works? Okay. That has, their own, I know street signs often, I notice those, right? Like people notice the little blue
Yeah,
signs.
and that's it. They're like us. They don't have a traditional downtown. But when you're driving through next time, take a look at all the monument signs and the wall signs. I'm pretty sure it's nearly like 80-90% of them all look the exact same. Or at minimum,
Bloomfield
I'm pretty sure it's Bloomfield Hills. I
Hills.
might,
Yeah.
I'm
which is
pretty sure it's
different than
Bloomfield Hills. I
Township,
might
but-
mix them up every now and then.
Okay.
But when you're driving through, take a look
Okay.
and you'll notice that everything's black and gold, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm open to taking a look at the sign ordinance and seeing how that, I would have to see how that looks. But one of the things that comes to mind immediately is when businesses are trying to establish themselves and their brand, and they have an established logo, established colors, and they have something that kind of like competes with that. Like again, Bloomfield Hills, that's a very good example, but I'd have to see that.
Okay.
I
How
don't
could
have
that
any.
work?
And we're in the early stage of this, but we also are taking a look at our sign ordinance in general, so it'd be nice if all of you could just take a look and provide feedback next month. But this would be kind of an idea of what it would look like if it was just black and white allowed. So you could have your logo, but it would just be like a grayscale or a silhouette of what your colored logo is. So, but please, take a look at the sign ordinance, provide feedback at our next month's meeting, or you can email me if you have any insight or questions. But yeah, this is just an idea we thought we would throw out to you and just get your feedback on it.
The other thing,
Go ahead.
the other thing is, of course, I know Lathrup is desperate to have a walkable downtown, but that's more like a walkable, like a downtown Birmingham type of thing. A lot of these properties are set back, and I don't know just logistically, if I'm gonna notice the business anymore because there's that projection sign when it's already 50 feet off the, you know what I'm saying? I'm not walking and looking up at it, right?
That's why they were initially asking for like monument signs, out
Yeah.
closer to the road. But again, we have issues with the county right away.
Yeah.
But this is why we want to at least bring up the topic so that we can have these discussions. Because while that is a good idea on paper, feasibility, just as we just figured out, but that's a need for this.
And we're looking for some type of compromise because
Yeah.
business owners keep talking to
Yeah.
Bruce, myself, and Mike about allowing for more sign types, or permit them in additional districts, or allow for larger signs. So we're just getting a lot of inquiries on it. So we're trying to just do our due diligence to make sure we're intaking it, digesting it, and trying to at least consider some type of balance.
Can I take this on a tangent?
Sure.
So part of why the sign ordinance was opened back up was, as Austin just said, I've had businesses reaching out to me saying that they're struggling, especially because of the last 2 years of construction, and we have a third year of construction coming up with the water main project. We had a business come to the last council meeting asking for help because they were struggling. Oakland Thrive actually went to that business and was talking to them and found out that they have no digital presence, which would be much more important. If people can't see them, they need to at least have some type of online presence so that people could go to those businesses. So Tracy had the idea of having Oakland Thrive partner potentially with us and the chamber to do a class on an online presence.
Yeah.
But one of the issues coming up with that, and you can talk more about it, more about it than I can, is basically how do you contact the businesses to even let them know
That's the most
that this-
difficult, challenging problem.
Right, and so yeah, why don't you take over from here?
Okay, all right, so, and the dry cleaners, that is not the only business that we have come across with this issue. There have been multiple businesses that I have dealt with personally where I'm looking at their digital profile and there's just no footprint. Maybe they might have a Google profile, landing page, nothing, or they may be depending on Facebook. And so it's imperative, especially in this day and age, if somebody is going to look for your business, if they're looking for a specific service, let's say for a nail salon or hair salon or dry cleaners, they're going to look it up online for such and such near me. And if they can't be found, they're definitely going to keep on driving down Southfield Road at 45 miles an hour. So it does help to help that business with a digital presence and increase their digital footprint. So we had suggested having, a workshop, helping those businesses with, and we can help them get a landing page created, help with their SEO. But of course, we need to be able to
I don't
get
even know what SEO stands for.
search engine optimization.
Got it.
So when people are searching on Google for a particular service near them, it can pop up for them. So we need to be able to get in touch with those businesses. We've tried, remember, last year, we did the foot campaign, going door to door to these businesses, reaching out to these businesses, trying to get their contact information so we can disseminate not only like workshops that Oakland Thrive may be having, but just general Lathrup Village information
Any newsletter.
to help them out. Exactly. Now, the Lathrup Village Chamber has been very boots on the ground, and they have been extremely active in reaching out to the local business community throughout Lathrup Village, getting their information, and they are in the process of creating something even with an app. So I think we may be able to get something close where we can reach out. As long as we're working with the chamber, the DDA I'm sure is gonna help. We're all in it together, to work together to reach out to these businesses and help them out. We're currently in the talks of who we're going to have speak to these businesses. And then when we get these finalized, we will have something scheduled, as soon as possible downstairs. And invite as many businesses as possible and encourage them to come.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I did pass this on to John, who is actually here, because he's heading up the communication and
Yes.
engagement committee, and business, two-way communication between the city and business is something that definitely needs to be considered as part of that.
And I've had
effort.
conversations with John about it as well, as how difficult it is, because everybody operates on a different way when it comes to communication. Some people are social media, some are email, some are phone, some are just text message, and everybody communicates differently. So how is it that you can get in front of people when you can't even begin that conversation? I mean, everybody's at a different level when it comes to technology, and people are busy as well, and people are running their businesses. They don't have time to go and create a social media page, but having any type of effort to do training, but then also have a guide that business owners could follow would also be very helpful.
When the business, I know we've had a major effort over the last year or so to get all the businesses licensed. When they apply for their license, do we require an email address?
We do. Yep. We do have that information, but you can email them. Doesn't mean they're going to read it or respond.
Right,
Yeah.
but at the start.
But it is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is a start. Yep.
And keeping in mind, there are methods of communicating. There are services where newsletters can be sent out, text, MSM, or SMS messages can be sent out, social media. So it's not, it'd be great if we could depend on one method, but when you have a multi-layered communication effort, reaching out, you're not going to get 100%. You just never will. But you can get a majority of folks.
Yeah, well, we just with Apogee, we just contracted to add a text blasting
Love it.
portion to their service, and so one of the things we might be able to do is just have, one subset of that for businesses, where we can do business texting, and then that could be part of the strategy, with email and whatever else snail mail if anybody
I
still
like
does
it.
that. Yeah.
I like it. So we're all on board to get everybody working together and communicate with the business community.
Okay, are we done for the day?
Just a quick question, back to the monument signs. So they're allowed as not in the right of way of the,
Well, so the first
30
30
feet.
feet?
30.
The first 30 feet off the road is county right of way.
right?
And so we really can't put a monument sign in the county right of way.
Okay.
Because
ex-
it's not
except-
city
And
property,
I
it's
guess I
county
was gonna, I kind of felt like, I wanted to ask this at the planning
Planning
commission
commission?
meeting. They'll allow us to put parking, which is permanent, right? Because you're concreting over their property. So have we even asked them if it's a possibility to put a monument sign on there? Because
we should be asking.
We can
Yeah.
ask them. I can say this. I don't know if you can even say they've ever approved parking.
parking,
over there.
right.
I'm pretty sure parking
Yeah,
just
park-
went
a lot-
there.
Well, I'd
and
love
didn't
for them-
impact
they-
the drainage. So they're like, okay.
Well, then they
Right,
can-
so maybe it's one of these things like, beg forgiveness afterwards, if,
Well, is my parcel like, I don't remember looking at the survey, but is that, is the right of way, like, who, is there, am I taxed on that right of way or no?
No,
Okay, I'm, okay.
no, and I think this is another conversation with post probably master plan, because I know the council decided not to move forward with the preliminary engineering for the Southfield Road Boulevard project. If that ever does decide to move forward in the future, all that right away goes away. So any parking that's there goes away in the future. So it's these kind of, even though we're kind of focusing on short term right now, it's these long term aspects you also have to think of.
Well, that's
That's
a
what-
very bad long-term project in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
And that's when taking into consideration parking counts, any of the parking that's in the county right away cannot be counted
Yeah,
towards.
doesn't count.
Yeah, so like next door, the laundromat and the plaza there, when they got a site plan approval, they had to turn the two-way alleyway into a one-way with angled parking because all the parking right along Southfield Road could not be counted. Even though it's on site and the property owner maintains it.
Which is the same issue that we're having with the ferry.
Ferry dairy.
Ferry
Dairy
ferry.
ferry.
Dairy ferry.
Ferry dairy.
So we
Yeah,
have
because
to-
all those
Right.
parking spots in the front don't count.
The property owner has to pay to maintain something they can't use.
Well, just like your house, like,
Yeah.
we're responsible for maintaining from the sidewalk to the road, but we don't own it. We have to maintain the ditches, we have to
But I can
cut the
I
grass.
Mow the
guess-
grass.
Right. I don't,
Yeah.
right, I
Same
understand
concept.
that. But
Yeah.
but you can't even use it as part of your site plan, you're saying, as part of counting the parking, right?
Correct.
So it's really like a can't use thing too, in a way.
And one last point, the county has a great database of aerial photos going back to the 40s. And we've looked at it, and a lot of the parking in the right-of-way had been installed decades and decades ago. It's before the county, I think, even took the right-of-way. So it's been a while.
Oh,
That,
so the parking predated the county right away?
I believe so.
In a lot of
Maybe
cases.
should have been grandfathered.
And they're there,
Yeah,
and you
about
can
that.
use it. It's just you can't count it
Can't
towards your
count it.
parking count.
Interesting.
Yeah. Pam, that's all I have.
Okay.
This
I
month.
reckon we are adjourned then. Oh, John, go ahead.
I was just surprised that you only had one public comment time. Last time I was here, you had one at the end of the meeting, so people could comment on the business.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
point. If you'd like to
Along-
comment.
Along the same lines, I was gonna say, we should also have on here, at the end, board member comments, right? Because, like, the stuff I brought up, Tracy and I brought up, I was like, okay, where do I do that?
Yeah.
Because it's new business, but, so we should have on there a thing at the end where board members can just
Okay.
have open comment.
Like a general
Okay.
communications.
What's that?
Like a general communications, or just.
Well, I mean, in
just
council,
board
we have
comment?
council comments at the
Okay.
end, where you can bring up anything,
Sure.
Yeah.
that's on your mind. We should have that
It
here
comes
too.
right after
Yeah,
public comments. so
Yeah.
you can-
yeah.
And that's something we can definitely add. When it came to planning commission, the chair was very strict when it came to the agenda, so we kind of kept it as is. But if this body is a little more flexible with the agenda, we could definitely add those two items going forward.
Anybody object to that?
No?
Okay.
John, did you have something you wanted to,
I did, yeah.
oh, go for it.
Okay. Well,
Actually, I should let the chair tell you to go for it.
That's okay. Please, sir, step up to the lectern.
I heard you bring up the park site, the triangle lot site, but last time I was here, looked like this body was headed toward, if that urban nursery opportunity didn't materialize by now, you might open it up for another request for proposals. And I was hoping to hear whether that was going to happen this time or not. I guess it didn't happen this time, but I'm interested in having that be reopened for new proposals. I really like that you're making Tom's time available for Parks and Rec. I know they have the greatest need for it. As I start my own committee and also have been touring the other committees, I would say that there's a need in general for a little bit of similar type of help, because again, the committees are volunteers, they have jobs, they're not able to do certain things. My thought is, yeah, Tom could, primarily for Parks and Rec, because they have a lot going and they're pretty, but I wouldn't mind having opportunity to use that, or have Tom potentially define that as a committee support versus just Parks and Rec. That's just a thought. And then the last thing I want to say is on behalf of that committee. One of the things that is coming up from a number of places, not just on the committee, is cross-committee, cross-commission communication and coordination, really, right? We're all sort of watching each other move month to month. Do we ever get together, either with representatives all get together, or do we get together in the big thing like we did for the initial kickoff for the thing, and get some real communication between the committees going. I don't know how that fits in with, if you're having lots of conversations, I guess if decisions aren't made, we can do it, right? So that's just a thought to put in the bug in your guys' ear, and then I'll be doing that with the other committees too, and maybe we can move forward. And the last thing I wanted to say is, and I'll say this in my other role on Monday, I'm not particularly impressed, I'm going to say that, I'm sorry, with the way the engagement efforts of the master planning are going. We're not getting very much resident participation, and I think it's incumbent on all of us, all the committees, all of the things, to figure out how to do better, possibly even recruit people to participate versus just hoping they'll show up at a commission, planning commission thing, and maybe there's a breakout session, maybe there's not. Like, it's just, it's not happening. Partially that's my committee's job, but we just got started. We have, we're not gonna have the solution on our own, so that's my thought on that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Communications and engagement. So we tasked a new committee.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with you, John. The timing is not great. I mean, the engagement piece it's hard. I mean, it's one of the things. I've been on council for 8 years, and we struggle to get engagement, and which is one of the reasons why we established the committee. But of course, you guys aren't going to have your recommendations. But if you have recommendations, like as the committee goes on,
Right.
Bring them out early. If we can improve the engagement on the master plan in any way,
Yeah,
any ideas they have.
I'm encouraging them to start having, to have study sessions as well, so we can cover ground faster.
Mm-hmm.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So.
And we have published it on social media. We've pushed it out in the newsletter. We've been trying different ways to get just the posters and the QR code in front of people. And also, there are active surveys right now on the dedicated website that people can be filling out that is going to be used as feedback towards the actual development of the plan. And there's also an open house scheduled for June,
I think they said they had like 140 responses to the surveys
Yeah.
already.
which is more than the last
time,
go-around.
yeah.
John?
I'm sorry, I should have said this too, and kudos for all that. It is, those are efforts that I respect. There's two aspects of the engagement, though. The one is the number of people, and that's woeful, and we have to figure that out. The thing I'll talk about more on Monday, but I would encourage everybody to just go and engage with the engagement tools as they exist now. I personally feel like they are not collecting the right information in the right way to actually be actionable when this is all said and done. That's a bigger conversation, but I think if people go and try to use it and say, am I communicating what I want by using this tool, or am I just responding to sort of generalities? I don't want to feed you any lines, but
Right.
just try it and look at it, because I think we have some real issues with that. So,
Okay.
sorry to take that non-scheduled public response time, but thank you.
All right, everybody, last chance.
Regarding the newsletter, I just wanted to put out there, I remember, this was a while ago, when you were during one of the town halls, and you asked the audience, there was a good number of people there, maybe 30, 40 people there, and you asked how many people receive the Lathrup Village newsletter. And Mike does a great job in putting that newsletter together. It's chock full of information. How many people actually raised their hands? Maybe 2?
Yeah, I don't remember.
But yet, all kinds of people are engaged on social media, especially on the Villagers and maybe a couple other sites. Is it possible that maybe we can have like maybe a short campaign to encourage people to sign up for the newsletter?
Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, that's a start.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, like when I was campaigning in November, one of the common questions I would ask was,
I
you know,
remember.
yeah, are you signed up for the newsletter? And, you know, some people didn't want to give their email, other people did. I would pass it on to Mike.
Oh,
We had a lot of instances where they would give me their email. Oh yeah, I want to get that. I'd send it to Mike, and Mike would send me back a message. They're already getting it. You know. So.
Yeah.
I'd say for a town of 4,000 people,
Yeah.
1,350 people are subscribed. So
that's not bad.
it's one of those things I bring it up with Austin all the time because I know he gets frustrated with the supposed lack of engagement through master plan process. This is my 3rd time going through master plan process. This is not out of the ordinary at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's always tough to say, but for the most part, for a lot of people, unless they're volunteers or they're engaged, as long as trash is getting picked up and water's coming to their house, they don't care as much until they get a bill in the mail from the city. But yeah, it's trying to find those avenues where you try to get those people's attention and get them involved. But to me, this isn't out of the ordinary at all for how this is going. If anything, the fact they've tripled responses for a survey versus the last one so far, it's a big win versus the last update.
Yeah,
For
I always say
communities.
it's not important until it's important, right? I mean, I think back. I mean, the biggest example was when we were working on a marijuana ordinance, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. We had 38 meetings, public meetings,
Wow. Okay.
over 2 years, and they were announced on. I don't have the list in front of me, but there were like 10 different ways. You know, Facebook, you know, e-newsletter, you know, mentioned at council meetings, public access TV. I mean, just there were at least 10 different ways. And then when we went to have the public hearing, it was over 3 hours on a public hearing where people were just furious that they weren't involved. And it was like, you had 38 opportunities over 2 years. So the issue is always getting them to the table before they get hit with it, and then it's, like I said, it's not important until it's important. So.
Also, I think when you hear the word, if you ask somebody, do you get the weekly newsletter, they may be thinking something that comes in the mail rather than the email version.
Oh, the Sun? Yeah, they could be thinking it's that.
Yeah. Tom, did you have something?
Yeah, 4 communities that I've either interacted with, worked in, lived in, you know, through my short 30 years here, I've only ever known one community that has had more than 40% of residents be involved in a master plan project, and it wasn't even any of those 4 communities I was involved with.
What did they do? Did they do anything special?
They did it during the pandemic, and since everything was
It's on
social
Zoom.
distancing,
Right.
what they were a smaller community, so what they ended up doing was hosting a lot of their bigger like talking points as not really town halls, but we were talking about it. What are they going to do in June?
Open house?
Open houses. They did more open houses. They did during social distancing. They had a lot more money in the contract that they were able, and it was a full rewrite too. So they had to go start to finish on this. But they brought people in during set hours. You had to sign up during set hours, and it was a highly interactive thing. But that still only brought in 45% of the residents in that community, and I was talking to the city manager about it, and she was over the moon at 45%. That was incredible for that community. So it's not out of the ordinary for communities to not even see that much in master plan projects, because it's just the nature of the beast,
Yeah,
you know?
I remember 5 years ago, I think some of the questions on the surveys had 14 answers. You know, it's how do you decide for an entire community based on 14 responses
Right.
and get it right? you
Wow.
know?
And how many people, like, you know, how many people think the way that we do, right? That what's better for my community, they're going to think about what's better for me, not my community. So they're going to be very selfish about their desires, and if they're self-conscious about that, or even if they're self-conscious in general, they're not going to want to speak up because they might not know what's best for the community. So it's kind of getting people out of that shyness and getting them to realize that their voice does matter.
But sometimes the two are not mutually exclusive, right? What's better for me could also be better for the community, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay.
But it's sometimes people thinking like, well, I don't know much about urban planning, or I don't know much about what's going on in the community at this time. So they feel like they're not in a position to actually provide input. When really it's like everyone has an opportunity to provide input. And it's encouraging people to actually step up and engage with the tools that we currently have, because we're not doing a master plan complete rewrite, we're doing a revision. We're doing an update to it, what's existing. We don't have the funds at this time to do a complete new master plan. So we also are restricted by our budgets at this time.
Is this required or?
Yes.
Yeah,
by
it's
state
required
law,
every 5
every
years
5
for a
years.
grade.
Okay, okay.
Madam Chair, if we have nothing else, I do have to leave for
Yes.
another appointment, so
Okay.
if there's no other committee comments, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
All right,
I'll second.
we are adjourned.